Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Noelle and I do unboxings here, mostly of lifestyle subscription boxes, but also some stationery and jewelry and a dash of Disney. So if you like unboxings, please subscribe to my channel. I am still trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Today I have something a little bit different for you though. It is my book club subscription by Once Upon a Book Club, and I was so excited to get this. I was actually an English major in college, so I have done a lot of reading in my life, but it has been a while, probably a good decade, since I've been doing some consistent reading for pleasure. So I thought this was a really fun way for me to get back into reading, and I was so excited by the selection for November for their adult selection. It was so thrilling, so fantastic. If you are part of this book club, definitely don't watch this video until after you read the book and open all of your gifts. For those of you who are just interested in finding out a little bit more about this, I will show all of the gifts that I got to open along with this book, but I will not ruin the story for you because it is a great book. It is by Lisa Jewell. It's called The Family Upstairs. It came as a nice hardcover, so I definitely appreciated that. And it was a great thriller along the lines of like Gone Girl or Girl on a Train. It was thrilling. There were a couple twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, a couple that I did sort of suspect, and I was sort of vindicated when I found out that I was right in my guesses. But it was a great book. Now, when I first got the book, it was a little bit into December. They were a little bit late with their shipping because they were waiting on a couple of the gifts, but they were fantastic about letting their customers know. And then when I did receive it, I kind of thought to myself, well, I'm going to have to give myself a couple of weeks to read it before I can share it with you. But in fact, the book was so good. I tore through it in 2 days, crushed it, had to stay home last night so that I could finish it. And then I just wanted to share it with you and share all of the awesome items that were in the box. So if you didn't know already, the concept of Once Upon a Book Club is pretty fantastic. They have a young adult and an adult subscription, and you can kind of go back and forth between them. If you have 2 subscriptions, you can always pause one and do the other, or get both. And then for the holiday season, they had all kinds of extra special ones. Like they have an advent calendar version, which I will be doing. They had like a mini one for Christmas Eve. They have one for New Year's Eve. So they do all kinds of fun things. Now, this particular November box doesn't look like it's still available on their website, so I won't be ruining the gifts for you because you can't necessarily get them anyway. But this is a book that is so great that I would like to pass it on, so eventually it will probably wind up in one of my giveaways along with maybe 1 or 2 of the gifts, just so that you get that fun experience. The experience I'm talking about is the fact that they really bring these books to life. So as you're reading through the book, you will come upon a page, and I'll see if I can find you a sample. You will come upon a page and there will be like basically a little post-it that tells you open this gift. So I'm trying to find the first one. It was really nice because in this book the first gift was actually like on page 25, and it's really cute, right? So it's very inspiring. It kind of propels you along, gets you excited about not only seeing what's going on in the book, but also what you have in store. That's why the box is so big. Now, I think the box is really cute how it looks like a book. I kind of wish that it wasn't hot pink, so maybe a little bit less girly, but I know that everybody's come to love these. So it just opens up like a regular box. There was a bunch of squiggles, some literature. They definitely work like a book club, so they have opportunities to discuss it through social media. They have opportunities to talk to the author. I don't know how much I'm going to participate in those things, but it was a really nice curation. And it's not just stuff that like book lovers would enjoy. So there's some book clubs where they're like, oh, we're going to send you like a mug and some tea and some candles so you can have a really cozy night reading, or even sort of just themed with the book. They actually make it so items from the book, items from the story are in your hands. And they do a lot of custom orders, it looks like, that are made specifically for this book club. So you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to those pages. Now, Once Upon a Book Club is not the cheapest subscription that's out there because, again, you are paying for usually a pretty new title. And like in this case, I got a nice hardbound book. So It's about $35 plus you pay another $10, $9.50 in shipping, so you're looking around $45 a month. But like I said, you can always read the sort of hints that they have mid-month ahead of time so that you can decide whether or not you actually want to get that book or not. And they do all kinds of genres. I was really excited about this kind of thriller genre because it's just so much fun. So let's go through it. The first thing I did want to share with you, and I actually pulled it out of the plastic sleeve, so because of the shipping delay, I thought it was very sweet. They actually included this really pretty print, nice and simple. I am a part of everything I have read, and it's a quote by Teddy Roosevelt, and it's nice, thick cardstock. So I know a lot of people are framing it. I just thought that was a nice touch. I don't know that I will frame it, but the fact that they acknowledged the fact that it was a little bit late and wanted to do something extra, something nice for everyone, I thought was sweet. They do have their pamphlets that tell you a little bit more about other book opportunities and opportunities to get involved in the book club itself. And then they always have this sort of art print that is a quote from the book. So this one actually says, "She walks her own path, makes her own rules. She is so entirely and utterly herself," and that is from the book itself. It's right towards the end. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting to see this quote, and it makes so much sense. But that's a really nice one. I get so many of these little art prints, these little postcard size things in different boxes, that I think I'm gonna have to get like a frame so I can kind of have the rotating display. And then there are 4 gifts in this particular one, and it's really nice. They're all beautiful boxes, especially these two, and you can see they actually had them printed. It's not just a sticker that says the page number on there. They had them printed for this book. There is one, now they usually do have one that's just sort of a sheet of paper, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to it. So what I will do, again, I'm not going to ruin the book for you at all. I definitely think this is something that most people could enjoy, especially if you kind of like thrillers. It's not like gory or anything. It's definitely something that's just kind of fun. So I'll read the little paragraph and then I'll open the gift so you can see what it is. She takes the little cardboard box from him and pulls the flaps apart. It is filled with shreds of torn newspaper. Her fingers find something solid and silky. She brings it from the box and lets it dangle from between her fingertips. It's a rabbit's foot hanging from a gold chain. Libby recoils slightly and the chain slithers from her grasp and onto the wooden floor. She reaches down to pick it up. So this was the first gift. Again, this was on page 25, and when I first read this, I was like, man, if we get a rabbit's foot keychain, I'm going to be so upset because that's just kind of gross. I would have the same exact reaction as Libby. But thankfully, the box was this shape, so I wasn't too worried. I figured they must be doing something else. And then I opened it up, and this is what I found. So kind of hard to see. I will open it up, take it out of this wrapper. So it is in fact a keychain. They actually put a little tiny note in here, and it says, "Libby's rabbit's foot, no bunnies were harmed," which I thought was really cute. So thankfully it took a big sigh of relief and there were no bunnies harmed. I didn't wind up with a creepy little rabbit's foot. But I did wind up with this very odd keychain in my mind. It's like really long. It feels like there's some sort of backing. I could see someone said in the Facebook group that their cat's been having tons of fun playing with it. I could see giving it to, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It has this nice gold key ring, but it's not something that I would necessarily use. Now, I love that they definitely didn't do the rabbit's foot. I love that this was kind of a key hint in the book, and I just think there was a different opportunity to do something else, like a little rabbit keychain, or like, I don't know, but that's not something necessarily that I'm going to use. And I get that they're trying to bring the book to life, but I also would love to have items that I would use in my daily life to sort of remind me of the book, but that don't necessarily need that sort of context. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one was on page 102, and again, there's this little post-it. It's always kind of fun because you're like, well, should I read like underneath the post-it, or should I stop right when I get to the edge of the post-it? Like the fact that they take the time, they have to go through these books and put all these post-its in and wrap all these gifts. I think it is so amazing. So here is the little paragraph. And she says, "And I wouldn't really ask if I had any other options, but do you still know the people, the ones who got me this passport?" She runs a finger under her eyes and then looks up at him pathetically, but hopefully, still alluringly. So This was my, I will tell you right now, this was my favorite gift in the box. It came in this pretty little other box. And inside, let me just take off the plastic, is this adorable little passport cover. Isn't that cute? It's like a little girl on a Vespa, and it says that quote you've probably heard a million times, "What if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?" It's super cute, and then it's got like these little clouds on the back, and it's very soft, like a nice vegan leather. And then inside, look at the detail. There's a little card slot, and then they actually put a passport in here, which I thought was a really cute thing. And then I opened it up, and this was what I thought was kind of weird, you guys, is it's like a little notebook, but they actually took the time to print the character's like image and information on the inside for her passport that she gets. Now, to me, this is like kind of going above and beyond this sort of detail, but because you need the context of the book, it makes this item a little less useful in my mind. Like, I was thinking, because I already have a passport cover, that this would be such a great gift to someone who is about to embark on some of their first international travel. But then, of course, this first page out of context makes absolutely zero sense, right? So I would have loved it if it was just a blank notebook, or even if it just had like a Jane Doe persona on the inside. I will say that I don't think that this passport cover is something that the characters in the book would have picked out or used, so that was a little bit out of place. And then again, because I love reading so much, what I love about it is that I create the characters in my mind, and so to then have a visual of one of these characters, the story is told in the voice of 3 different characters, but to have one of them now sort of instructed to think of them this way kind of ruined it a little bit for me, because I had my vision of what she looked like, and then I was like told of what she looks like. So, but still my favorite gift. Beautiful, nice quality, and I love the attention to detail. So this was kind of like a 2-piece gift. All right, so then the next one is on page 179. I hope I'm selling this book to you guys. You should definitely read it. It's so fun. By the time I turned 14 in May 1991, we had rules. Not just normal family rules like no feet on the furniture or do your homework before you watch TV. Not the sort of rules we'd had for all of our lives. No, we had crazy, despotic rules written out in black marker on a large poster that was taped to the kitchen wall. I can still remember them to this day. All right, so then you can actually see in the book, it's got a different font. So, and then you have this image of this big poster board where they've written out these rules. Now, this is one of the gifts, and I know they do this a lot where there's a paper gift, like if there's a letter in the story, but I think this is kind of a cheat personally. So they just basically wrote out the rules for us. But the rules have already been written out for us in the book, even in a different font. And then I know they're trying to bring things to life, but this isn't the actual item, right? The actual item would be this giant poster board. So for me, this was like kind of an unnecessary sheet of paper. I would rather have the effort, the time that goes into this. I mean, there's not a lot of cost that goes into this, but I'd just rather have fewer items or higher quality items. That's just me personally. I know they do that a lot where one of the gifts is just a piece of paper, but that's obviously not something that I'm going to save or use in the future, but it is certainly something that I might tuck into the book if I do re-gift the book for someone else to enjoy. All right, so finally, the last item is on page 265, and it's got one of those nice, specially printed boxes. David fumbled for the key to their bedroom in the folds of his tunic. I saw as he did so that beneath his tunic he wore a crossbody leather purse. I assumed that this must be where he kept all the keys to the rooms in the house. He was having trouble putting the key in the lock, so I helped him. All right, so it's always kind of fun when you get to those post-its where you're like, ooh, is that what we're getting? Is that what we're getting? So this looked a little small to me for a crossbody bag, but in fact, when I opened it up, that's exactly what we got. Now, I will say, I don't think that this is the kind of crossbody bag that the man in the story would wear. It's very chic, and it's actually pretty cool. I'll see if you can see it. On the tab, it actually says Once Upon a Book Club. So they definitely had this made for this book, for this curation. On the back, it's got this nice little zip pocket. And then it sits upright, so you can see there's these little silver loops, so that is where the strap would go, so it goes this way instead of this way. And you open it up. It's a pretty decent vegan leather. It doesn't have like the same feel to it as the passport cover, but you can definitely tell that it's not real leather. And then inside the front pack, it's got this nice strap, which I won't open up, but it's a nice thin strap, which I also appreciate. And then there's just a ton of pockets. So this I did actually try. My phone fits in it pretty perfectly. I have the 10R. And then inside, this happened to me before, you'd think I would know. So inside, this is pretty cool. They actually had 2 blank keys. Now again, this is the kind of detail that they have in this book club to bring the characters, to bring the story to life. So he's got this pouch. I don't think it looked like a pocketbook like this with all of these pockets and card slots and this deep pouch, but they actually put 2 blank keys in, which I think is cool. But again, what am I going to do with these keys? They don't go to anything. So I could see where it would be nice to maybe have a little key ring or something else. So I get, like on this, the one they were trying to do something that you would use. I personally probably won't use this because I have some other items that are similar. But then there's like the keys, which I'm probably going to throw them away, which just sort of seems wasteful. So there's different places where I feel like they're doing such a great job of making it so book specific, and then sometimes when it's so book specific, then it makes it something that I wouldn't necessarily use, right? And again, this, as lovely as it is, as useful as I think a lot of the readers will find this, is not the kind of crossbody bag that that man in the story probably would have had. So I almost would have preferred like a leather pouch and then no keys, or a key on a key ring that I would use, or I don't know. I'm not trying to be super critical. I think this was a great box. I loved the book, and really that is what it's all about. I love what they tried to do in terms of bringing it to life. Definitely my favorite item is the passport holder. And like I said, I do want to share these items, these opportunities to read with other people just to inspire you. And I know it's a little bit of a pricey subscription, so definitely look out for future giveaways. I will probably include this book and maybe some of the future ones, just so that these books don't wind up just sitting on my shelf so someone else can enjoy them. And I will try to include some of the gifts so you have that same amazing experience. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what your favorite genre of book is to read. I also really like historical biographies and historical fiction. Let me know what you think about the items. Do you think that the like keys and the paper, like the list of rules, are maybe unnecessary? And if there's any other book clubs that you enjoy that are also subscription boxes, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, you guys have a fantastic day. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I post new videos, and I'll see you very soon in my next unboxing.